I'm just now catching up on this. Show Smash some love. Let's watch it.
Bloomberg has reported that Ubisoft is forming a new gaming entity. And when I heard that, I'm like, well, what?
The word entity is actually quite interesting, by the way.
What the hell does that even mean, a new gaming entity? Ubisoft is a gaming
See you later, perfect
entity. And diving deeper into the information that they've provided is apparently Ubisoft is looking for ways to keep their company together and not sell off their IPs, but instead use games like Assassin's Creed and the series of Assassin's Creed to put into a new gaming entity where then they could work with other corporations to push those games for sale and maybe have more money come in from another.
Yeah, sounds like desperation, right? I don't think Ubisoft is going to be able to make themselves a new entity. I think if they do something with Tencent, they're absolutely going to have to at least give them a major share holding in the company. I think Ubisoft is definitely done. JG says it's going to be Ubi hard. All right, let's continue on with this video.
Place. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. This story that broke from Bloomberg was a wild one. In what I'd call some sort of strategic desperation, Ubisoft is reportedly looking to bring in outside investors for a newly formed gaming entity that will house some of its most valuable intellectual properties.
Sounds like a way of saying they're going to sell but not sell, I guess. I don't know. This is the first time hearing about this.
Including everyone's favorite fake samurai series to clown on these days, Assassin's Creed, among others. And what could come out of this is basically Ubisoft being able to form another company and not sell off their IP.
Sounds like that's what they're trying to avoid doing.
Shout
out to Smash, by the way. Subscribe, go comment, like, show them some love. I'll leave a link to this video down below. All right, let's continue.
Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article that I'm going to be going over in this video. But for now, let's talk about the situation that Ubisoft is doing with the forming of a new gaming entity. Bloomberg's latest report broke the news that the French publisher is actively shopping for a minority stakeholder right now as we speak, with the Chinese gaming giant Tencent among the potentially interested parties.
I think Tencent's going to 100% own Ubisoft eventually. This
information shows up at a time where Ubisoft's been struggling, and that's putting it nicely, to maintain a position in the gaming industry at all. Market instability, financial setbacks, extreme injection of DEI and woke ideologies throughout the entire organization, and on top of that, just basically a long string of underwhelming game releases that have combined together to put a lot of pressure on the company itself.
Yeah, I mean, between Prince of Persia, Skull and Bones, Outlaws. I mean, this company could do no wrong. I mean, no right. We've already been covering this. Shadows is their last shot, guys. I genuinely think Assassin's Creed Shadows is their last shot.
Forcing them to now begin exploring alternative strategies in hopes of securing a new future. Not that any...
Sad Clown says Tencent actually wants to make money. You are right on that. They actually want to make money.
Anyone legitimately holds their breath for any kind of savior or white knight, because at the end of the day, we all know what's going to happen with Ubisoft. It's going to crumble under the pressure that it's created for itself.
It's going to be done.
This is a last-ditch effort of trying to bring other companies in to form a new gaming entity or partnership with them to be able to sell their IPs under a different gaming entity. According to sources familiar with the matter directly, Ubisoft has reached out to both global and...
JG says they predict a Assassin's Creed mobile gacha game in the future similar to Raid Shadow Legends. You think if China does that, we're going to see mobile Assassin's Creeds? I mean, that's a possibility.
And French-based investment funds seeking preliminary bids by the end of this month. Ubisoft's lack of comment on the matter is pretty telling, though, as the company had instead directed Bloomberg to their most recent earnings report instead of giving any kind of insight on...
They're always avoiding having to come out with the truth and accountability
on anything they're doing right now with this new formation of this gaming entity. This follows last year's speculation that Ubisoft was considering a strategic shift to double down on its core IPs, particularly Assassin's Creed. Right now, as it stands, Tencent already holds a nearly 10% stake in Ubisoft.
That's actually a pretty big fucking chunk. 10%. But I think if this goes through, they're going to get a bigger cut. A way bigger cut.
While the Guillemot
What's up, Portal?
family, Ubisoft's founding members, own 14% of the shares themselves. The Chinese tech giant of Tencent has been in discussions with the Guillemots and financial advisors since at least last year, with many reports indicating that they were looking for ways to stabilize Ubisoft after its market value took a significant nosedive in the past half decade or so to what is now reaching close to all-time lows for Ubisoft once again. And here
Yeah, it's like a decade all-time low for Ubisoft at this point. Even if Assassin's Creed Shadows does good, guys, I'm still saying that the company's not going to be saved at all. Even if they do good. Even if they sell a lot. They're too much in the red. It's over. It's Coitons.
Here's a quick look of that 5-year stock performance for Ubisoft. And
look at that drop-off.
Yeah, being down nearly 77% in stock value in a 5-year period isn't something that's necessarily typically sustainable for the long haul. The latest development fuels even more speculation that Ubisoft's open to selling a more significant portion of their business. Desperate times are calling for desperate
Tencent's definitely pissed that they've lost a lot.
measures, I would suppose, and there were previous reports last year that Tencent and the Guillemots had entertained the possibility of taking Ubisoft private, but those discussions were still in the early stages back then, and as far as I understand,
I always thought this guy kind of looked like a weird robotic like cult leader, by the way.
nothing has come from that as of at least lately. The battle for control behind the scenes has been ongoing, and a Reuters report from December also revealed that some shareholders were considering a potential Ubisoft buyout that would
Tencent has a nice ass fucking Tony Stark looking skyscraper, by the way. You see that?
allow the Guillemot family to retain control. And I remember when I talked about this back when that happened, and I'm like, in what situation have you ever seen a company sell to another organization and then the organization buying it would let the people selling it still remain in control of it?
Like never ever, which is why this whole concept of a new entity is like weird.
The whole point of selling it is to take those people out of control typically and make the money and the decisions on your own, because now you own it. I mean, let's be real here. The Chinese company has also been trying to prevent any kind of hostile takeover attempts from other investors, which would suggest that Ubisoft may be more vulnerable than what they'd initially had let on, which again, not much of a surprise with that, because they're down nearly 80% in stock value in less than 5 years. Things aren't looking great for Ubisoft right now, and they're probably pretty vulnerable. While Ubisoft had struggled tremendously over the past few years,
they are absolutely vulnerable. I think the end is near, guys, for Ubisoft. 110%. Now, Portal says, problem is game development time is way too effing long. They take 5 to 10 years to make a game now. It's incredibly risky. Yeah, I think that's a definite factor. A definite factor, for sure.
Years with controversial mismanagement and insane decisions that I've covered in depth on this channel, the next major title, Assassin's Creed Shadows, is scheduled to launch on March 20th, 2025, marking the pivotal moment for the company, as
we're just
this
a
game
handful
will
days
be
away.
The first major Ubisoft release to launch on Steam on day one since 2019.
I think them launching on Steam day one is a good choice, though. I'll say that. I think more games should just launch on Steam day one.
A departure from their previous strategy of prioritizing Epic Game Store or Ubisoft Connect first and then putting it on Steam way down the road, and people on Steam being like, no, the game's already old by now. Why would I pay full price for a game that I could have had months ago somewhere else that I don't want to use a different launcher for? I'll just play a different game. At the end of the day, the different launchers, specifically for Ubisoft, just didn't work. And it's pretty obvious.
You know how many people don't even know about Ubisoft Connect? Like, I think it's a waste of money for them. I think putting it like on Ubisoft Connect and bullshit like that is just a waste of money.
It's just looking at the situation, why that is. Maybe they're learning what gamers actually want. Man, desperation can wake people up pretty quickly, but I wouldn't get my hopes up for Ubisoft coming around of any kind of intelligence anytime soon. They
Yeah.
recently experimented with releasing Assassin's Creed Mirage and Star Wars Outlaws on Steam after launching them exclusively elsewhere. And whether this move here signals a broader shift in the company's digital distribution strategy does remain to be seen, but it could at least be an attempt to try and regain any kind of trust from PC gamers who have clearly grown frustrated with Ubisoft's exclusivity deals.
Absolutely. I think a Steam release would make it. I think that's where everybody that plays PC, everybody that plays the games, they're all there. And it's a big fucking platform. It's literally the most popular platform. What's up, Anime Mania? How you doing?
And yes, there's a lot of pre-existing ill will in the PC gaming community with Ubisoft, and doing this move, putting it on Steam day one, isn't going to be an overnight fix where everyone just embraces and loves Ubisoft.
It's definitely not going to be an overnight fix.
All of a sudden, no, it's going to take time to mend that bridge. And when you look at a game like Assassin's Creed Shadows, they're not doing it out of kindness, they're doing it out of desperation. The company is on the verge of collapse.
They need to do everything they can to help turn things around.
Hell, some could even argue it already has. By Ubisoft now actively seeking investors for this new entity that holds its most valuable franchises, Ubisoft is taking a calculated risk. While securing financial backing might provide some sort of short-term stability, it also raises concerns about whether the company is slowly losing control of its own creations, and what they even have being made down the road that interests anyone in the first place. If Tencent and other major investors gain more influence over Ubisoft's board, it could lead to fundamental changes in how the company operates, which honestly at this point is probably a
What's up, Slopes? Good to see you here, man.
good thing. Ubisoft has long lost who they were due to falling victim as an entire company to the woke mind virus, and forgotten who their
Go woke, you go broke, guys. And Ubisoft has definitely gone broke.
audience actually was this whole time. Maybe the potential investments from BlackRock, Vanguard, government grants, and low-interest DEI loans sounded great at the time, but if that's what got them where they are now, I'd be questioning my life choices as a company, because ultimately, this is the end result that many people were pointing at years ago, going down this road saying, you might take the money up front here.
They need to just sell the assets.
But what's it going to do for the games down the road? Who's your customer? And will people embrace this slop? We already know the answer to that one. With industry consolidation becoming increasingly common these days, this latest move may be a sign that Ubisoft is preparing for a major restructuring, or even a potential acquisition down the line.
I think Tencent's gonna own in the whole thing. Tencent is gonna end up owning the whole thing. I'm calling it.
Line. Either way, the immediate fate of the series like Assassin's Creed or other major flagship Ubisoft franchises could be hanging in the balance in the meantime. It's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of this, because now Ubisoft is looking to form what appears to be a separate company, a new gaming entity, a joint venture.
Which just sounds so fucking weird. This whole separate entity idea just sounds so weird.
If you will, with other major investors with lots of money that want to have more control over the franchises and find a way to somehow save Ubisoft's ass, because at this rate, there's nothing they're going to be able to do
to
stay in business if they continue down this road. I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out SmashJT.
So very interesting. Very fucking interesting. I think Ubisoft is screwed no matter what they choose to do at this point.